There we go. And I'll go ahead and put up Miss Tanya's PowerPoint for you guys. Give me just a moment. There we are. And then, so thank you. Now at this time, we ask that you please mute your mics for the best sound experience. Otherwise, the feedback could interfere with the information we'll be sharing with you today. So without further ado, here's Miss Tanya Rico.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tanya Rico. I work at the Veterans Resource Center. I'm the assistant director there. As you all know, right now we're still working from home, so our virtual office is actually through a link on our website. But physically, our department is located at the Valle Verde campus, and it's on the Student Services Building, room S139. And we're open Monday through Friday. Usually it was 8 to 5. By right now, it's 8:30 to 5:30, and that's virtual. Our phone number is 915-831-2398, and we do have a departmental email, and it's veteranscenter@epcc.edu. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and talk a little bit about our center. And then shortly after, I'm going to have two of my student veterans who do work on campus with me and are also current students for a Q&A panel. And at any moment, if any of you have any questions, you guys can go ahead and drop it on the chat box, or at the end, I'll have an option for you guys to ask. Okay, so our mission and vision. The main point of the Veterans Research Center, or the reason why it was developed, which is actually about a couple of years old only. It's fairly new. It opened up back in 2016. It hasn't been fully up and running until 2017 when I came in on board. Because it was previously ran by just our student veterans, which it was just to maintain it open. But developing it and providing the services that we do, it's been about three going on 4 years. So the main reason is, we want to have a one-stop shop for our student veterans. And not just our veterans. I know it's called the Veterans Resource Center, but all military affiliated are welcomed. And who is military affiliated? The military affiliated is our spouses, children, and anybody that's affiliated with the veterans. So it's not just services for the veterans on campus, but it's for the families of the veterans as well. So the Veterans Resource Center provides a safe and welcoming environment through which veterans and their families can access resources and support from peers, college faculty, and staff. So in our center, we have a whole bunch of resource pamphlets, flyers, and all of the above. We are able to, we do have close relationships within the community. So I do a lot of outreach. I go out in the community and I partner up with a lot of military affiliated members who work with our veterans in the community. So these services, for example, like if they need assistance with utilities, with rent, and they're not able to pay it for some reason, we do have opportunity or options for them to seek help within the community. So I do also join the city, and I join the county with their advisory boards for the veterans. So we do a lot of advocating for our veterans in the community, and also, of course, our student veterans. So what is the Veterans Resource Center? And I know I talked a little bit about it, but the Veterans Resource Center is, that one-stop shop where we're able to assist a student from beginning to end. What I mean by that is, so we assist our students with, when they come into our office, they can apply to the college. They don't apply in our office, but we assist them with applying to the college. So we either take them to admissions or we assist them there. We have computers, and I'll go ahead and show you guys a few pictures of our center to see, so you guys can see what it looks like for those of you that may have not visited our center before. We do have some computers that our students can use. So we assist them with applying to the college. We assist them with applying for their benefits there. We help them with directing them to the right counselor that they need to speak to in order to be able to register for the correct classes. And then we go ahead and get all of their paperwork ready so we can get it certified through the Veterans Affairs Office and getting their classes paid for. So I know I talked a little bit about the services, but a little bit more in detail. we do go offer all of these services, and we're growing, so it's a lot more services as well. We do provide Go Army basic questions to our active duty soldiers. We do GI Bill application process, Hazelwood application process. We assist them with requesting their military transcripts, which is their JSTs. We provide assistance with on and off campus resources. So it's not just utility bills, but also mental health, food pantries, or anything that they may need. It is also open, to the community, but also, there are some services that are specifically for military affiliated. We do have computers for school and personal use, and they have printing and fax scanning capabilities. So, some of our students don't have any technology at home that they need in order to be able to be successful in the classroom. So we go ahead and provide that there for them. We have a lounge area, which includes microwave, refrigerator, snacks, water, and coffee. We have a quiet room. This quiet room serves a purpose for those that are having like a hard day. So let's say they're having something is going on in between their classes, they're having anxiety or anything. They're able to go into this room and debrief. And so they're able to have a moment of, kind of like a, what do you say, like a little bit of serenity moment. So they're able to just go and relax. So that's why we call it the quiet room. And it's soothing and calm. So I'll go ahead and show you guys a picture as well a little bit later on in the presentation. We have a book lending program. So books are very expensive, right? So that's one thing that we do have. I actually just purchased quite a bit of books, new books, so they're able to borrow them throughout the semester. The VA does provide them a stipend for books, but it's not enough money, so we still go ahead and provide them with a book lending program. So they're able to borrow the book for the semester, and then they just have to return it at the end of the semester. I've also just purchased a few laptops. So we have quite a bit of laptops for our students to borrow. So we also have a laptop lending program. And the requirements are that, they have to be registered for classes for the current semester, and then they have to be using their VA benefits, and they have to be, first come is not really first come, first serve. It's actually our veterans first. And then if we have any available, then we can lend them to military affiliated. We have a Veterans New Student Orientation. In the Veterans New Student Orientation, we basically brief the students on campus and off-campus resources. So there we have an opportunity to invite our internal departments, and then also we invite our community presenters to go ahead and come in and give a small brief about any services that they have to offer to our students, our military affiliated. We have a Veterans Thanksgiving Day event, and so we partner up with our Culinary Arts Department. And I'm talking about these events because these are our large events that we have throughout the semester, or throughout the school year. I'm sorry. And so the Veterans Thanksgiving, we partner up with Culinary Arts Department, and we basically all of the food is donated from the community. We have our donors already set, and they already know what we need, and they provide it to us every year. With the exception of last year, we weren't able to do it last year because of COVID. So, but we are looking into continuing this once we get the green light and we're able to be careful and be able to provide the right protocols and guidelines. So we partner up with Culinary Arts Department, and they're the ones, the students are the ones who cook the meals, the Culinary Arts Department. And then we go ahead and invite our family members and student veterans and military affiliated, and we have a nice gathering, and it's really a really nice event for them. We also have a veterans pre-commencement ceremony. So for those veterans that don't want to go to the large commencement because maybe anxiety, or they're just not into those large events that they'd like to go to, we have a pre-commencement. So we actually have the gowns, and they're teal gowns, and they're able to use them. So while they're using them, we sit them down as like an actual commencement, and then we take pictures. We do this whole ceremony. We have a guest speaker. We work closely with the Fort Bliss 1st Armored Division Army Band and Color Guard, so they do join us, and they're one of our main people that always show up to our events, and they provide the music and then they do the colors. We have our virtual military affiliated job fair. We just had our first one actually this past this year actually. So it was actually a good turnout for the first one. We had about 100 people. And so, but previously we had done an in-person one as well. We also had about 100 people show up to it. So we do provide, we partner up with Texas Veterans Commission, and they do the recruitment of employers for us. And so we provide jobs or any type of employers that are looking for either internships or anything like that for our students that are about to graduate or are just looking for employment during school. We also have virtual web and learns. We used to have, obviously, you know, in person, and so the in person were they were lunch and learns. So we would invite someone from the community. They would provide lunch, and then we'd have like a Q&A, and they'd be able to provide their information on services, pamphlets, goodies, or anything like that. So now what we're doing is we're having it virtual, and so we have one monthly, and sometimes we have 2 monthly, depending on how many do reach out to us that want to provide this information to our students. So we provide these monthly. So if you guys know of any other community partners that have any services for our military affiliated, go ahead and send them my way, because we're open to adding more partners to the Web and Learns. Academic services. So previously with a grant, we had an academic advisor, and before COVID, we were looking into getting a full-time or a part-time, counselor specifically to work with our veterans. And so the academic services that were offered previously with our grant, was case management, class registration, general advising, advocacy within EPCC, and crisis intervention. So sometimes we have students who are going through difficult situations, and not just you know, because of mental issues, but also because they may be taking different types of medication for different types of things that are crashing together, and it's just making the wrong impression on the student. So I've had instances where a student was almost kicked out of class because he was being disruptive, but it wasn't because he was being disruptive because he wanted to. It was just that the medications that he was on for the different things that he had he wasn't handling them well together. So it was creating an aggressive behavior, but it wasn't that he was meaning to be aggressive. So that's the type of intervention and advocacy that the academic advisor was doing for our students. So prior to COVID, we were looking into, and then the grant ended, so you know, our academic advisor had to go. So now we were looking to actually establish institutionally a counselor position, and so we're still looking into that. However, you know, because of COVID, we had to pause it. But the goal is to be able to have a counselor on campus to be able to provide in our office all of these services to the student veteran. Aside from our Veterans Resource Center, we have a Veterans Lounge, and the Veterans Lounge is at Trans Mountain campus. So the main thing our goal is to be able to have a lounge at every campus to where students can have a place, our student veterans and military affiliated can have a place to go, and where they can go and relax in between classes. They can go and do homework. So in this lounge, we have it's like a classroom. So it has the whiteboard. We have resources there as well. We have computers. We have student veterans that work the lounge. So if there's any questions or anything, they're able to ask them. We do also have coffee, snacks, water. So it's just a calming place where they can go and just relax in between classes, or help each other, or go and work together on any projects that they may have for school. And so this one's located at Trans Mountain campus. So the only lounges that we have right now is at Valle Verde and Trans Mountain. Trans Mountain, because we do have a large population of military that attend that campus. And it's located in room 12:15, and we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Of course, right now it's closed because of COVID, but we do have that lounge in the future for our students. And of course, these I just talked about those. These are our services. We have computers, printing, fax, and scanning capabilities. So they're able to do all of that. The only thing that they would have to visit our office for is actually doing like the book loan, the laptop loan, and any large things like that. They would have to go through our Veterans Resource Center. But if they want to just ask questions in regards to their benefits, apply for the benefits, they're able to still do it at the Trans Mountain campus. So this is, I'm sorry, yeah, they're able to do it at the Trans Mountain. So this is our center. For those of you that have not visit our center, we have the front desk, and then on the top left, you see our front desk. And then on the top right, you can see those 2 computers on the side. And the bottom picture also shows a little bit of the back of the office. We do now have another computer next to that printer that you see at the bottom picture. So we actually have 3 computers for our students that they can use. So this is what the center looks like. I'm sorry. This is what the center looks like. And then we have 2 cubicles. That's where one of our academic advisor would go. But right now our office assistant is the one who sits there. And then the back cubicle is mine. That's where I sit. And then you can see the lounge area. And on the bottom left, right-hand corner, that's the quiet room that I'm talking about. So that quiet room is where students can go and relax and just debrief in between classes, or if they're just having a rough day. So, and we've actually had some students that do use it. Okay, so I do have one of my student veterans here. His name is James Clift. I'm just waiting for Ubaldo. James, is Ubaldo in the virtual office right now?
No, he's not.
No? Okay, who is in there right now?
This is me and Alan.
Okay, can you have Alan join us in here so I can have you guys, we're gonna do a Q&A panel for our student veterans. So if any of you guys have any questions, if not, I do have some questions. But if you guys do have any questions, feel free to ask them. So I brought them on board to be able to kind of like give an explanation, a little bit of an explanation of their experience on campus as a student veteran and also as an employee at EPCC in our center. So does anybody have any questions for them? No? Okay, so let me just give Alan, my other student, a little bit of time to log on.
Yeah, just 1 second. He'll get on. I just have to.
Okay.
You do have a question, but I do have to. I'm on my phone, so I'm trying to get on my computer.
Okay. Thank you, Patricia. I'll make sure to ask them right now. I'm just waiting for Alan to get on, okay? Hi, Alan. Thank you.
Okay, you can go. I can. You can ask me, Tanya.
Okay. How many students take advantage of these services
Just a second.
as an employee? Can you answer that, James? From when you started. So let's talk about a little bit like this. So from when you started to now, do you see an increase, and do you roughly see about how many students do we average throughout the semester?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, are you talking about student veterans?
Yeah, or just military affiliated and like our office traffic.
Well, before the pandemic, yeah, I would say an increase of students,
So,
especially in the summer. A lot of people are military because they don't care it's summer, if that makes sense.
so Antonio, to answer your question, we don't have the statistics with us, but I can tell you from when I started, back in 2017, where I was averaging like 1 to 2 a day because nobody really knew about the center, to now where we're averaging on the highest that I've seen is about 200 students in 1 month. And that's because they go in and we help them and register. Of course, you know, the beginning of the semesters, it does get busy. So that's when we see a little bit more of the traffic. So I can tell you that we do get a lot that are taking advantage of the services, but we also do have a lot that mention that they haven't heard about our center. So we're still, like I said, we're still a growing department. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do is we're still trying to get our name out there and be able to have our student veterans be pointed into our direction. So if any of you guys are staff members, I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys can just send them my way if you hear that, you know, they're military. And then Patricia had another question. James, we'll start with you and then we'll go with Alan. What ways can others help you? I'm sorry. What ways can others help you feel more comfortable at school?
Just treating me normally, like everybody else.
Have you
I
had
don't think.
any bad experiences?
No, I never have. I've heard some people, but I just never been in that situation myself.
And Alan, how about you? Do you have any suggestions on what ways can others help you feel more comfortable at school?
Oh no, no. I think it's a pretty comfortable environment at APCC.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
have you had any bad experiences or any good experiences? So they don't have to be bad, but any bad or good experiences?
Um, I wouldn't say bad. Just sometimes things get a little slow when you want to get something done, but that's it. Um, as far as good experiences, with some I've had some really good instructors, and as far as services go, everybody's pretty helpful.
Okay. So do you see any major shortcomings in services to veterans at EPCC? So I guess, Manny, what I can answer that by saying, you know, once we do, of course, you know, slowly come back onto campus, I think the counselor would be the biggest thing that I can say right now, to provide these services to them, to our veterans and military affiliated. So I think that's one of the biggest ones that I'm looking for right now. And then Patricia, we can talk about
Thank
that.
you. How about our veterans? Do they have
About the
anything to say
counselor.
about that?
What was that? I'm sorry?
I said thank you. That sounds like a great idea. How about our veterans? Do they have any anything to chime in with on my question?
James and Alan?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you see any shortcomings in services to veterans at EPCC?
No, actually, I think it's very well done. Because I'm a student at UTEP right now, and they're a little backed up, and they don't seem to be as interactive as our. I'm not just saying that because I work there. I'm just saying it to be truthful, but we have a lot of other events and other things going on, like our book rentals and laptops. I haven't really been too interactive with the Military Success Center and UTEP, so I know they're working hard, but they're a little bit slower. So it's good at EPCC.
Alan? Thank you, James. Alan, do you have anything to add?
No, I think James pretty much covered it.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to ask, anybody else have any more questions? I have other questions that I came up with to ask our students. No? Okay. So, James, how do you find a balance between family, work, and school?
I push my schoolwork all the way to the last minute. But that's me. You don't have to do that. You just gotta separate everything. Make sure you get it done. When you have an opportunity to do a little bit of homework, you do it. Even if it's like 15 minutes, you gotta get it done. That's like been most of the journey for me. Just doing the work. If you do the work, you'll be okay, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, James. Alan?
I think it depends on your educational goals. So there's some ranking classes and things of that nature that maybe you want to get A's for. So that does, I think achieving a high grade is what takes a lot of time. School itself is not that time consuming. It's just achieving those high grades that gets more time consuming. Um, Other than that, I mean, I do aim high, so I do, I guess, not set aside so much time for myself and my family as I'd like to.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. And then Manny, you had another question. So, Alan and James, what other ideas do you think would help improve services? Do you guys have any suggestions from your
Yeah.
experiences?
If we got a verifying official in the office with us, that'd clear up so much confusion sometimes.
Manny, okay, so one of the things that we don't do in our center is certifying our students. And so what that means is that our students, once they're registered for classes and ready to submit paperwork to the VA, we don't do that in our office because our certifying officials are actually under financial aid. So James is suggesting that we'd have a certifying official within our office so that way everything can actually get done in the office. So that's what that was his suggestion.
Would that be a part of the counselor you were talking about earlier?
No, because our counselor would just basically be the academic advising center. I mean, the academic advising portion of it. He or she wouldn't take care of the reviewing of the courses and making sure that they fall under the degree plan and making sure that all of the VA rules and regulations are taken care of. It's actually a VA certifying official that needs to be in our office. Thank you. Let's see. Patricia, what can we do to help you guys in this program? What do you guys think, James and Alan?
Well, having our own budget would be nice because Tanya, you said that we share a budget, which I understand, but I think the numbers are there and we could even get more student veterans to EPCC because I think it's a great place to start out because I never had any higher education after high school and I just started one day and I'm almost there to graduate with a bachelor's, so that's kind of a long way. And it all started at EPCC, so if they pour more money into it, it could be better.
So to add a little bit on that, what James was saying is that, so our budget, we're under the umbrella of Student Leadership and Campus Life. And so our budget, we get a small budget from, or actually, let me backtrack. The only budget we have is me as a full-timer, and then I have a part-time administrative office assistant. And actually, my work studies don't get paid through my department. They're VA work studies. So they get paid through the VA, but they have to be enrolled for classes. So they're not actual student work studies through financial aid. They're VA work studies. And so the small allowance that we get for the school year is provided from student government. And so they give us a small amount to use. But of course, you know, we're a growing department. So that's why James is mentioned, because every time anybody asks me, I'm like, we don't have money. We don't have money because we don't. And so that's why, you know, and I explain it to them. I tell them it's because our center really doesn't have its own budget. So we are provided a small amount of budget to be able to last us throughout the semester, but we are the school year, but we are a growing department, so that would be beneficial to be able to have our own budget and be able to use it more with our students. Yes, so that would be great. We do have some donors that do provide us with snacks, but the more the merrier, because like I said, we're a growing department, and I'm sorry, Patricia asked if maybe we could donate snacks to you guys. Yes, that would be great, because we do get some donors, but we are a growing department, and our students are often visiting our office, and they do take our snacks because that's what they're for, you know, to be able to provide it to our students. But that would be great, Patricia. I'd greatly appreciate that. Alan, do you want to add anything to it?
No, that sounds really good. I think I agree with all the points made.
Okay. Let me ask one more question. So, Alan, how have you adjusted from military to I guess civilian, but in this sense, the college student?
It took me a while, but it just detached, like just completely detached from the military, and then just start new. But it just took time for me, at least.
And what steps did you take, and what was useful, what wasn't?
Just stay busy. Just stay very busy, and try not to analyze things with my military perspective. Kind of let things go when things don't fit my military perspective.
Thank you, Alan. James?
My transition was good because I just started and I haven't stopped since, so it's been good to be busy. I try not to, I try to agree with everybody. So, and then that's kind of what the Veterans Resource Center is for, because if you're in a class and maybe struggling or whatever, you can go to the VRC and there's probably somebody there that's going through the same thing. So it's a good place to have.
Thank you, James. Anybody else have any questions before I ask the last one? No? Okay, my last question. Let me see. I have it. So, have you guys created any new friendships while you've been on campus, or how has it been being able to connect with other people?
Yeah, I'm friends with Alan. We went to a hockey game once, so we talk sports, and so yeah, I've met a couple other people. I haven't seen a lot of people because of the pandemic, but we still remember Mr. Turnspeed or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
Because he
Daryl.
came in the office a week ago and was asking, and I was like, "This guy sounds familiar." I was like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah.
And so it's good to reconnect with some people. But yeah, I met some good people.
So we usually have our regulars go into our office, and that's who James is talking about. So our regulars will go in on like every day, and they'll go and just relax with us, sit there, talk, and so they're always just there joking around, watching TV. So that's who he's talking about. Alan, do you want to add anything to it?
Yes, I think the VRC has helped me connect with people, like James said, James, Alonso, some other coworkers that I wouldn't think that they'd be my friends. But other than that, in the class setting, I really keep to myself. So so VRC has been very helpful with making new acquaintances and friends.
And to add to that, so Alan was, yeah, well, was because he's already been with us for a year, but he was actually one of our new work studies, and he started like about a week before the pandemic hit, and so he was brought home, and so he's only been, you know, with us for a week in person, and then he's been with us throughout the pandemic, virtually working with us. But thank you, Alan. And then Sandra's asking, what are your goals for the future?
Like my personal goals or for the VRC?
Yeah,
Well,
so you give both.
okay. Personal, I just want to graduate UTEP with my bachelor's in social work, and then for the goal of the VRC, to reopen would be probably cool, just to get back to normal. Although I do like to work from home, it's been nice, but that's all I got.
Thank you, James. Alan?
Uh, but the same goals, just finish school, continue some education at UTEP, and just for the VRC, the same thing. I really do miss the normalcy that we used to have, going to the office, getting out of the house, and seeing people face to face. I think sometimes it can be a lot easier to just refer people, and it's just easier to see people's emotions when they're in person, and we know how to handle it better. I think that when it's online, when there's no camera for the service member we're helping, it can get I mean, we don't know what they're going through, and they can be very frustrated, and so that's something we don't see.
Thank you, Alan. And then Sandra, to add to that, of course, I'm going to say it again because I'm going to continue saying it, our counselor. So that's what I would really like for our goal, to be our counselor, and then to be able to have a lounge at every campus. So because we have veterans and military affiliated at every campus, of course. So to have a lounge at every campus, and, you know, develop fully the VRC, and then eventually be able to have, yes, and our own budget. Thank you. All of that. Thank you. So that's all I have. And thank you, Alan and James, for joining us. Patricia, that's all I have.
Thank
I don't
you, guys.
know.
I believe that
Thank
was
you.
a fantastic presentation. Thank you to our special guests, Alan and James. I appreciate you being here and taking some time to talk with us. It made it extra special today. Thank you, Ms. Rico, for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Before you guys leave today, I would like to share some information with you. And as you got it, Manny, I am going to share that passport link in just a moment. First thing I'd like to share with you is the OLA guide. It has all these resources available to you, including the Veterans Resource Center. You click that link and you can download this PDF. It has all sorts of tutoring services for you, as well as other services. And like I said, right underneath that COVID-19 update, it has Veterans Resource Center. And so you can click there and connect through their Blackboard, but there's also links for financial aid, mental health resources, counseling, admissions, and there's loads on the online tutoring department that's available 7 days a week. Especially important this week because we have final exams coming up, so be sure to check us out. Also, I would like to share with you is our Tahana passports. Let me go ahead and copy that information for you. There we go. I'm going to paste it in the chat right here. All right, and then I'll also share the flyer that goes with it. Give me just a second. There we are. And so how the Tahana passports work is you join us for Tahana virtual events each week. And we'll give you a code at the end of the session that you can use for your own free medallion. There's silver medallions, gold medallions, and I can't wait to see some of y'all's when y'all get them. If you're participating, the code's in the chat. If not, it's not too late to join. You click that code, you sign in with your EPCC credentials. You don't use the @epcc.edu, you just use the before that, and then your regular EPCC password to sign in. And then it'll be valid until midnight tonight. And I recommend you check it out. Then the last thing I would like to invite you guys to is later today, we will be having a math happy hour at 3 o'clock using at the same link. And it's going to be specifically for final exam reviews for Math 13-14 and Math 13-24. So if you're going to be taking an exam for those classes, I strongly recommend you come with us because we're going to have the math instructors teach the review as well as tutors standing by to assist you. I would like to thank again the Veterans Resource Center for meeting with us today and having a wonderful presentation, as well as the audience for coming today and being a wonderful audience. And at this time, I'm open to questions. And if not, I hope you have a wonderful summer break. And if you come and join us in the summer, come check us out at online tutoring.